Now, the South Plains First News in high definition. This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 10.
Some Lubbock citizens are outraged over the possible closure of the health department. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Bottom line, the future of the Lubbock Health Department lies in the hands of the City Council.
Today, the Board of Health met with the city manager and concerned citizens about the department's future. KCBD News Channel 11's Michael Slaughter joins us live from the Health Department downtown with the latest. Michael?
Karen and Abner, if the Lubbock City Council votes to accept the proposal from City Manager Leanne Dumbald, this building here behind me will no longer provide immunization or STD clinical services after August 31st. That's when Dumbald says the current state grants run out. Well, today the Board of Health voted on their own proposal to present to City Council that would give them an additional 90 days to discuss other options for the health department. But it was not before there were some tense moments between the Board of Health members, citizens, and the city manager herself.
I'm done.
Okay, you're done. So you will not stay at this meeting and answer any more questions?
Dr. Marlowe, I've made my presentation. Thank you for having me.
What started as a presentation from City Manager Leanne Dumbald quickly turned to outrage from the people of Lubbock. Angry because Dumbald suddenly refused to answer any more questions from board members after she presented. Dumbald was outlining her proposal for the health department once state grants expire at the end of the month. Her budget proposal, which requires approval from City Council, would eventually close the health department building, saving the city an estimated $1.2 million over the next 2 years.
This isn't a budgetary issue, it's a people issue and it's a policy issue.
STD clinics and immunization services would be outsourced to whichever organization wins the bid to subcontract the services from a new grant. But citizens were concerned other facilities aren't prepared to handle the influx of patients that could come from the health department.
The other facilities to which services are to be outsourced have had little or no planning time for eschewing additional public health duties. At least 1 year would be a minimal time for an organized changeover.
Other than the city footing the bill for money not provided by the state, the only other option would be for City Council to approve raising taxes, something Dumbald doubts would happen.
But I don't believe there's going to be support on the City Council, and I've worked for them for 7 years, to raise the tax rate in order to support services that were formerly paid for at the state level.
Now, Dumbald said she stopped answering those questions because the point of this meeting was for the citizens to ask those questions and address those concerns to the board members. But after Dumbald left, other citizens did get up to voice their concerns. And again, like we said earlier, the board did vote on a 90-day extension proposal that they'll present to City Council on their meeting on August 25th. We'll be at that meeting and bring you the very latest online at kcbd.com. Karen and Abner.
All right, thank you, Michael. And new at 10 tonight, tragedy. 2 people were killed last night in a motorcycle and pickup crash north of Snyder. Around 7:30 last night, 46-year-old Ronald Philip Kinchelow was driving southbound on State Highway 208 when his truck and a motorcycle collided. The collision killed both riders on the motorcycle, 56-year-old Danny J. Bell and his wife, 56-year-old Jean Ann Bell. The 2 were from Colorado City and both were pronounced dead at the scene.
KCBD News Channel 11 has learned the name of the person suspected of driving the vehicle that struck and killed 34-year-old Jose Trejo in late July. An affidavit for a search warrant reveals Sammy Ortega, a 25-year-old Lubbock man, admitted to police through a statement that he was driving the car suspected of hitting Trejo. Police found the suspect's vehicle with blood and hair on it, and the vehicle's condition was consistent with the scene of the accident. Ortega has not been charged or arrested in connection with the incident. For more on this story, go to kcbd.com.
And on a brighter note, today was the start of the Campbell Fest in Snyder, a musical festival to honor Officer Darrell Campbell, who was shot there in the line of duty. Officer Campbell wasn't at the festival today because he is still recovering here in Lubbock, but 2 of his 4 daughters were at the celebration. The event kicked off around 7 o'clock this evening at the Coliseum there in Snyder. And while there were a few technical difficulties in the beginning, the show went on in a big way and was a big success. In fact, more shows are planned for tomorrow and Sunday to raise money for the wounded officers' medical bills. Tickets are available for $25 at the door.
Big news tonight for Mike Leach. Today, the Texas Supreme Court asked for more information on Leach's lawsuit against Texas Tech. The state's highest court asked Leach and Tech to file briefs by September 19th. You may remember back in 2009, the university fired Leach 2 days after suspending him amid allegations of mistreatment of a player with a concussion. Leach later sued for wrongful termination. Tech claimed to have sovereign immunity as a state institution, a claim the 7th Court of Appeals later upheld. But now the court is breathing new life into the case by asking Leach to submit more information next month.
And Lubbock police are asking for your help this evening in locating a home invasion suspect. Police are looking for a black man between the age of 25 and 35. He's said to be tall with a medium build, perhaps around 250 pounds, with brown eyes. He is wanted for the home invasion last month in the 6400 block of 33rd Street. So if you have any information that could help police, please call Crime Line. The number is 741-1000.
Texas Governor Rick Perry says that on his first day as president, he would sign an executive order doing away with much of Obamacare. Perry is making a 2-day campaign swing through South Carolina, and this morning he addressed a room full of doctors and health care providers in Florence. Perry is also taking a swipe at President Obama's recent bus tour through the Midwest.
Thank you very much. The president's been on a jobs tour. As a matter of fact, we didn't cross paths, but we were in the same state together, Iowa. He had his big old bus, his big old $1.2 million bus, I might add, and made in Canada. But anyway, the real issue is that the president's out there, and he was on a jobs tour. Now, I mean, this is the president of the United States that has killed more jobs in America than I think any president in the history, certainly in my lifetime.
Perry's next stop is a fundraiser in Columbia, then he heads to Greenville.
The drought across Texas has set yet another record. Now a record 250 Texas counties have outdoor burn bans as this lingering drought is blamed for staggering agriculture losses. The only counties in the state without burn bans are Jefferson, Orange, Willacy, and Zapata. The previous burn ban record was back in 2006 with 221 counties included then. So far, the drought has caused a record $5.2 billion in ag losses.
And we can only hope that next year we're back to normal.
Wouldn't that be great to have lots of rain? We forget what rain looks like. So, John, that's your department. Let's find out if there's any rain out there now. Is there?
There's a little bit, but not much in West Texas. Most of it's going to be to our north again and northwest. It's probably where it's going to stay over the weekend. So as we look at the Doppler radar, you can see some showers moving, primarily in New Mexico, coming off the plains, the mountains of New Mexico. Some of that activity headed to the Panhandle. It appears it will not make it in the South Plains, although there's a very slight chance we could see a few showers in our north and northwestern areas later on tonight, but the chances again are very, very slim. No activities you can see as we zoom in around our immediate area. We'll show you some temperatures tonight and we'll see if the data is there. It's been kind of missing for the last hour. Let's check out some of those temperatures. Well, a few sites there reporting now. Texas Tech Mesonet numbers there are generally in the 80s, still a 93 in Matador, but 80s in Lubbock and Gale, back to Brownfield and Plains, and it looks like a few of those sites missing the data, but you get the idea. It's been in the 80s and 90s. On our way to the 70s Saturday morning, it's going to be in the upper 80s at noon, starting to get hot by 12. It'll be right back in the mid and upper 90s tomorrow, so rain chances slim, but they do change a little over the weekend. I'll outline that change in a minute, Karen and Abner.
Thank you, John. If you haven't checked off your back-to-school list, you still have time, and you might want to take advantage of the tax-free weekend. Items like school supplies, clothes, and backpacks that are under $100 are on the list. The state expects shoppers to save $62 million in taxes this weekend. South Plains Mall says it's their busiest of the year. They expect record crowds of nearly 150,000 people. Typically, they see 120,000. A lot of people say pennies saved justify going to shop.
Saving a little bit, obviously $8 on every 100, but
most of the stores will have extended hours this weekend. For more information on what items are on tax-free, go to kcbd.com.